Hello, friends. It's Tyler, and we're back with another one. Today's a little different. I got my buddy Jason here, and we're going to discuss M Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin. So, Jason, you're the first guest on the channel.
Awesome.
How do you feel about that?
I feel honored. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, there we go.
I'm glad. Jason's been a long time fan of the channel and friend of the channel. He's there's a short film somewhere, I think down at the bottom of in my short film section that he's the star of. I think he's in a couple of them actually from college.
At least two.
Yeah, the Break-In City, the Tenacious D music video as well. So check those out if you want to see more of Jason's work. But yeah, I wanted to, this is kind of the beginning of, I want to have, start having guests on, talk about things. We're lucky enough that we're actually in person for this because I feel like most of the guests will end up being through Zoom. Jason will probably end up being out again through Zoom just because he lives in Indy. That's how it works. But today we just got back from Knock at the Cabin. And what'd you think, Jason?
I really liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, despite his recent track record.
Yeah, I guess, you know what? That's what we should start with. What is your M. Night Shyamalan gauge? Like, where do you sit with M. Night Shyamalan?
I feel like liking his movies, you have to do it in spite of a lot of the stuff he wants to do for his movies. And yeah, like, I think that one showed kind of more restraint, and he wanted to tell a story and not do his gimmicky stuff.
I wonder how much of it is that it was just based on a book.
Yeah, that movie makes me want to read the source material for sure. I want to check out that story.
Yeah, I'm curious if it's something of that M. Night just took the concept of like people showing up at the cabin, like, or if these are the same characters, the same flashbacks. And I should say we'll avoid spoilers for a bit, but we will eventually get into some spoilers. But we'll put up a thing at that point when we start getting into spoilers. But so you like M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah,
but not the newer stuff.
I think Old. I did not like Old. I didn't like. I don't think I even saw Glass, and I didn't like Split, even though I know that's the one a lot of people liked. Yeah.
I'm a fan of Split. I will say that I wouldn't call myself an M. Night Shyamalan lover, but I am a M. Night Shyamalan forgiver in that I'm not as offended at his movies as a lot of people are. I like The Village. And I will say this with an asterisk of I like Lady in the Water. However, I'm scared to watch it again because I have not seen it since I saw it in theaters. I bought it on DVD or got it on DVD as a gift and still have never watched it again because I'm too scared and think it's going to suck. Yeah, see? And everyone's reaction, I'm just like, oh God, I think I was clearly wrong because I saw it when I was like young. So I think Spider-Man 2 was probably my favorite movie at the time. So I didn't have the best taste. That's a good movie, but favorite movie of all time. Come on, get out of here. But yeah, I'm similar with you in that I've never seen Avatar, like The Last Airbender. I liked The Visit, and I liked Split. I am a fan of Glass. It was, I don't know. Glass was okay. Yeah, it was very M. Night Shyamalan. But I feel like isn't there something else? I feel like I'm missing something of his.
I think he produced something, or like.
Oh, it's probably just the
production thing.
Yeah, he produces a lot of stuff between like Devil and all that stuff. But when this was first announced, the trailer looks so good.
It was really intriguing. It definitely was like what's the mystery of another Shyamalan movie?
Yeah, they really like. I feel like all marketing teams for any Shyamalan movie have it really easy. They can just be like, the next mystery.
This one has Batista.
Yeah. Which was pretty much want to see Batista act, which Batista was fantastic. So good. If you like Batista, you will like this movie for that alone. Which, if you're my mom, then that means you'll probably like it. And I also thought, because I've seen a lot of, I guess it's probably more of the conservative side that are very upset about the gay couple at the center, that this is just a very woke movie. And I didn't feel that way. I think that one of the characters is a shit that I wanted to kill. That had nothing to do with him being gay. The other guy, who's more likable, is more gay than the one dude. And so I think that maybe people, like, especially like bigoted people, are maybe responding to that, where they're like, oh, I don't like this guy. Oh, it's because he's gay. Oh, because, where it's like this, they're like putting, I don't know, connecting the dots that aren't really there. That's what I assume, because I didn't see anything. The movie didn't feel super woke.
No, it felt like that stuff was just secondary to, like, that's just they kind of bring it up in the movie. It's like, it's kind of a coincidence that that's how it is.
And if anything, I think that it worked even better, because that it made it more believable that they felt they were being targeted for their identity versus this crazy story that they're being fed. Because otherwise it's like, yeah, I mean, why are they so distrusting? Them being gay, it does add an element where you understand the struggles that they're going through. But then they also they're very smart with showing other, I don't think this is really spoilers in terms of the flashbacky stuff, because it's so brief. And but there's different flashbacks throughout that just show you a little more insight, and it's done in a way that I thought was a lot less I don't know, cringy than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And on the nose.
Yeah.
Because there's clearly a thing with a parental disapproval, I assume, of being gay, and they do a good job with it. It's not like, it doesn't hit you over the head with it. It's not too on the nose. So
a lot's done with what's not said than what is, yeah.
Except for the ending, but we'll get into that later. And there's a lot. I will say too that, and we had actually discussed this before, because it's a very popular topic right now. It's child actors. And I was very uneven with this girl. I felt there were times where she was really good, but a lot of the time I didn't think she was good.
Yeah, I felt like when, like, the more stressful moments were introduced, that's when it got weaker. Like, I really like the opening where she's just being the moments where she is just a kid doing kid stuff. She's really good at it. Like, that stuff's great.
Yeah, otherwise it's tough to see. I don't think she does quite as well with the more emotional stuff, which she's like 6. So I get it. That's why it's like, I'm not calling her out by name. I don't know her name. I hope she improves and does a great job. But it didn't work for me that much. But everyone else was fantastic. Yeah. Fucking Ronald Weasley himself, Rupert Grint.
Oh my gosh.
So I know that I haven't watched Servant, the M Night Shamylan Apple TV series that he is on. And I have not seen, it's some Netflix show that he was on. But I know that he's been doing the Daniel Radcliffe approach of doing, like, really interesting roles. But I haven't seen any of them until now. And this was so good. He was awesome.
I was kind of expecting, like, okay, where's going to be, like, the British guy doing an American accent moment. And then, there was never really, like, okay, he's selling a very believable character.
Yeah, he did a great job. And, okay, any other non-spoilers? Because I feel like there's just spoilers to talk about now.
I thought it was a good, like bottled, like, I think it's not a bottle episode because it's not a show, but I thought it was a good contained, like, for being in one setting, it didn't feel like stagnant.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I really didn't even think about that. It is essentially just in one setting. They show news footage from other places, but
I guess the flashbacks allow them to leave. But it's really
even the flashbacks are very brief. They're super contained, so that then you don't feel. Even the flashbacks are still, like, with just if they're such a small, like they're just with our characters.
Yeah.
To the point that I think that there's a scene with other characters in that scene that they don't even really speak. It's still,
there's just always it's kind of it kind of lends itself to the thing of like, yeah, it's these two versus the world.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's like, even though they're in other places, it's still just these two conversing, which is really cool. I genuinely talking about it more and more is making me like the movie more and more.
Yeah.
Because I think that they just did a good job with it. But spoilers.
Yes.
Spoiler time. So I guess I should have known that they were going to kill off Rupert Grint very quickly, because he's not in like any of the ads.
Oh, okay.
They show like he's in like them standing in front of him, like, and then it's like they don't really show him throughout. And same with the other girl, not the black girl. They show her in the ads a lot, but then the other girl, as soon as he died, I'm like, oh, the other girl is dying next, because I didn't see her much in the ads, and I was shocked at how quickly they they kill him off, and brutally too. Was the movie PG-13?
That's where I was kind of confused. At first I thought it was going to be R, or I couldn't tell because we got like, there's R trailers in front of the movie.
I thought it was R, and then like watching, I'm like, it felt PG-13.
Because they'd intentionally cut away from stuff.
Rated R.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a timid R.
That's a very timid R, which, to be fair, like, I'm not the best judge of that these days, because like I don't know. I saw Infinity Pool and didn't think it was that bad in terms of
what you can do, I guess. Yeah, like, so when somebody doesn't go all the way, that can maybe be a bit more noticeable.
Maybe there was swearing that I just didn't notice.
Yeah,
because I guess, I mean, I'm an adult. Swear words don't really register.
It was a very dialogue heavy movie, so there probably was a lot of stuff in there that just as they're talking, you don't think about it.
Yeah, it didn't register with me. I was too involved with the performances, and I kept really enjoying just what was going on, because especially Batista had so many good monologues,
like Glass Onion, and then immediately the next thing, like just like
couldn't be more different roles. Could not be more different.
But it's like, you see him and it's like, okay, that's Batista, but it's like he inhabits the characters so well.
Yes. And it's just because I always think of like Blade Runner 2049 and even Drax, where it's like he plays so many different roles, and it's just insane. He does such a good job. And in this in particular, it feels like he took on the role because it would clearly challenge him.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, I think that was my biggest takeaway from that, was that just like, I always liked him, but I was like, I think I really, really like Dave Batista.
Hell yeah. I've definitely, I mean, I've always had a like very much a love for him because of wrestling. Grew up with him as he was like one of the biggest guys when I got back into it back in 2010. And so seeing him transition, and like, especially too, because I remember when he was cast in Guardians, and where people were like, really, an actor, like a wrestler, like, come on. And then he killed it, and it was like everyone's favorite part. And like, I would say he's the best part of this movie too. Maybe Rupert Grint, because Rupert Grint is just, it's a very against character. I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck, Ronald Weasley? Or people are going to watch that movie, not realize it's him, and then be told after, and they're going to be like, wait, what? The redneck guy was Ronald Weasley? But they also did a good job with the making it so you still have that kind of doubt where you're like, well, maybe they did just
that
pre-record stuff.
That part, like, it was kind of a good thing. Like, well, you are out in the wilderness, so it's not like you're gonna see a live recording anyway.
Yeah,
like,
because that was one of my issues, was that like, so the advertisements showed like the tsunami and they showed planes falling. And so I'm like, well, shit, now I know that it's real. Like, there's not going to be no mystery of like, if they do is it happening or is it not? So then the fact that they were doing that, I'm like, well, you already fucking showed, like, I already saw it in the ads. So then a part of me, when I even saw the ads originally, I'm like, oh, maybe they're visions.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's why they're not really something that happens. So, because I have a lot of like weather anxiety, or at least used to, and so seeing like big tsunamis and big supercells, and that was
actually seeing like the start of an apocalypse was pretty unsettling. Just like that thing of like, people aren't like, there's not like zombies running through the streets and like meteors aren't falling out of the sky, but there's like a weird uneasiness to everything of just like things are off and going in a bad direction.
Yeah, and I think too that there's that thing after 2020 where you're just like you have that thing of that familiarity when you see these kinds of situations, and you're just like, oh God, oh God, not again. Because before, I feel like when we'd see these kinds of situations and we'd be like, okay, unrealistic, or like we would handle it.
Someone would do something by now.
And now I'm just like, oh yeah, it would be chaos. Absolute chaos.
Hundreds of planes might fall out of the sky and we just don't know why.
Yeah, could 100% see that happening. And now the next time I'm on a flight, that's what I'm going to think of is, oh my God, there not better be someone in a cabin somewhere threatening. But and what about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse?
I was about to say, like, this almost feels like, I guess I'd have to read the source material, but like it almost feels like this is like Shyamalan's closest to getting to like actual like some kind of like philosophy or something.
Yeah,
there was like some weird, just like human, just like very human things of like, these are just people trying to be people. And
it's very much a philosophical movie. I think its whole goal is it wants you to be a better person.
Yeah.
Like it wants you to walk away with it from the film wanting to do like
altruism.
Yeah, do the right thing and because I think that's another thing too that I think that is very interesting, because again, going back to like the 2020 stuff where it's like we got to see how selfish people are. So then this movie really shows too of like, because at one point they're like, yeah, I'll kill all 7 billion people on this planet if it just means my family survives. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of people on the planet that think like that. Like a lot.
And it's kind of interesting because we actually give like this guy, well, not like it's justified, but there is a reason why he feels that way of like, this is the only person in the world that I have. And I guess the thing at the end is like, well, I have our daughter too.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
Yeah, they did a very good job with it. And like there was some cheesy stuff like the flash forward that showed like him with his daughter and he looks like 5 years older with like
his hair slightly grayer.
Or it's like,
why'd you dye your hair gray in the future?
It's like, dang, Dad, you must still be cleaning up in the gay world because you look like you're in your 30s, late 30s still. Even though you got to be fucking almost 60. So I'm trying to think of what else. The direction was really good. Shyamalan, I felt like, did a really good job with everything.
Yeah.
Stayed on shots. There wasn't like long static shots of boring. Everything felt like it had intention. There wasn't, I was a little worried that they'd go overboard with jump scares.
I was actually about to say, were there any?
The Batista.
Oh, when she's hiding from him.
She's
He's
hiding
like, hey.
and turns, but it's clued in. Like, she's gonna turn. It just delays it where she turns and then turns again.
And it's pretty quick on just like it happens.
It happens and then it's not used as like, it's more of a jolt rather than a scare. Because it just immediately then goes into, it uses the momentum of the scare to then move into the next scene, which is, again, just shows how good Shyamalan was with it. His editing was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I remembered this. Did you notice in the beginning during the credits it said a film how
the way the letters were. It was like a film and then
a film M by Night Shyamalan.
Yeah,
because they put they dropped the by in between M and Night. Because I get what they were doing, but it looked like a film M by Night Shyamalan. Like,
Yeah, that was a very odd choice.
And I don't understand, like, they flew through those credits. Like, I don't mind, like, 'cause going through, but like, it was to the point where I couldn't read names. Like,
yeah,
it was just flying through. If there was like three producers on the screen, I could not read all three of the producers like in time because it was just so quickly off. Where it's like, I understand not everyone cares, but like, I want to be able to acknowledge the names. Like, I need to be able to see, like, oh, it's this person. Oh, it's that person. It's like, for an example, Jason and I watched
Battle
Dogs last night, and the credits. They essentially warm you up to like, holy shit, this person's in it. Holy shit, this person's in it. It like essentially gives you a moment to be like, oh my God, I mean, obviously it's not that same level, but like, I just still want to be able to take in the credits for a second. It doesn't need to be like long and boring, but
especially for how quiet that opening is, it's not like the credits would have really like taken away from anything. Like,
my thought was that Shyamalan shot the opening, that all the stuff that went on behind all the credits, and then it was like, it's X amount of time. You need to throw in all the credits in this amount of time, however quickly it has to be done. But did you notice on the directed by, it stayed on the screen by like a half a second longer than everyone else? It's like, yeah, of course. you get it,
you greedy bastard.
Speaking of,
oh God, that was I really enjoyed his cameo. That was really good. It's like, okay, you found the perfect niche.
And like, I get it. Some people aren't a fan. I love it.
It's so good.
I grew up with the looking out for the Alfred Hitchcock cameo, and like
that was a fun one.
Yeah,
like you're a QTV like air fryer marketer.
It's so funny. Like, I always think of the story of how Rennie Harlan on Deep Blue Sea was going to cameo in they have a shot of all of the people at Aquatica. They're leaving for the weekend and getting on this boat. And so it's just a wide shot of all these people he just has to walk across the screen, and he couldn't do it.
Oh,
like, he could not do it. So anytime I see M. Night, I'm always just like, you know what? He knows he can do it. Let him do it. It's not like he's the greatest actor, but he's also, outside of Lady in the Water, he's not giving himself like the pristine part.
Yeah,
like,
and that was even more conservative than like Signs, where it's like, you're not a part of the plot. You just exist in this world.
Yes. Like, which I think is, and again, I understand people's annoyance with it, but I enjoy it. And especially, like you said, like, it was the perfect way for him to utilize himself. Yeah. It was so fun.
It was almost like a thing of like, get out of the way. We need to get back to the movie. Like,
well, and you could hear, like, there was definitely people in the theater that we saw it in that recognized him. So like, I think it's to the point where people know what M. Night Shyamalan looks like. And like almost are expecting it, but I was not expecting it.
I thought maybe like a flashback he'd show up somehow or something, but like,
honestly, with how much it was still like subverting the usual M. Night Shyamalan thing, I was like, oh, they're not doing that. They're going to like, he's going to not show up because he's going to show restraint like he's shown the whole film. Yeah. But then he doesn't. It's amazing.
And he really doesn't do like a big twist. It's like, it's really, they say what they say. They're there because of an apocalypse, and they need to do what they need to do, and they did it.
Yeah, like, the twist is essentially revealing of the identity that these are the four horsemen of the apocalypse. They're just the nice version in terms of they represent.
It's malice.
Well, I guess malice isn't nice.
No, the four aspects of humanity, basically. And there's malice, nurturing like
health?
guidance and health, or whatever the nurse. Yeah, the nurse was like healing.
Yeah,
nurturing, healing, guidance, and malice.
Yeah, which I enjoyed that. I thought that's the kind of twist I like, where it's like not really a twist. It's more of just a reveal of information.
Yeah, and it's less of like a biblical apocalypse and more of like just an apocalypse of like the being of man or whatever, or something like that. Like.
One thing I was thought about a couple times was I don't know. It's not a movie that I think will suddenly seeing it on the second viewing will suddenly like. It's not like Sixth Sense where you're like, oh my god, it changes everything. Yeah. If anything, I realized there's one moment where the line cook girl, she looks at the like one of the bladed instruments, but because she knows like that it's gonna be her death,
yeah.
She's gonna be killed by it.
Ugh.
So it's like I even took note of that, like when she looked at it, like, oh, that's gonna be significant. So it's like I feel like there's probably moments like that.
Yeah.
Like maybe even Batista signals for the knife sooner. Like maybe it like shows that he has the knife on him sooner, and I like didn't notice things like that, which I'd like. I don't know. I liked so much of what they did.
Yeah, and like the horror of it wasn't. Yeah, like there's the threat of like, oh, these people are in our house or whatever, but it's like they're not going to actually hurt you. Yeah. You're just being forced. You're being forced to make a really messed up decision.
If anything, this is the kind of movie that a non-horror fan could watch easily and get enjoyment out of because of, like you said, it's the tension. The tension is there in a way that's not... You're never scared for the life of like the little girl or they make clear the rules right from the beginning. We're not going to hurt you. We are going to kill each other one by one, setting off this plague unless you sacrifice one of yourselves. We cannot kill you. We cannot. So it's like, immediately that
they can't kill themselves.
And they cannot kill themselves. So it's like they set up the rules, which it doesn't take the tension out in terms of wondering what's going to happen next. It just takes that uneasiness of worried that like the little girl's gonna die. Because that's never fun in a movie of like that kind of tension of a kid potentially dying. But anything else that you
No, like I guess on the note of not really like it was like it almost felt like a thriller with supernatural elements to it. Like, kind of, but I really liked it.
Yeah, same. What would you give it as a rating? I usually do out of 10.
Out of 10, probably give it like a 7.5 or an 8. Yeah.
Nice. I'd give it an 8. I was until the I can't call it a twist. The Four Horsemen reveal. that was the moment it went from a 7 to an 8 for me, where I was just like, wow, that's awesome. Yeah,
that was a really great.
I really love when films come together like that, and it came together in such a satisfying way. So definitely 8 out of 10. But I mean, I don't know. Like, it could be a movie that now that I have seen it, maybe it doesn't hold up on another viewing. Maybe it gets better. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And even as that 8 out of 10, I'm like, chances are it's not going to be on my like top 10 at the end of the year. It's still good, but I can see other things easily beating it out throughout the year.
Yeah, I'm very curious where this is going to be at the end of the year on my list, or just really in general of like how this is going to be looked at, because it's a very different Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, I think that if anything, though, I'm really hoping that he takes the lesson of adapting other people's work, because it seems like that's the winning ticket. Yeah,
if he has a little guidance, if he has the horseman of guidance to help him,
he won't fucking Shyamalan it up. Fucking, oh my god. You know what I was thinking? Maybe the reason that we think there's another M Night Shyamalan movie is because of the It's Always Sunny episode where he's making that about the Armenian genocide, I think. Where D, like, she's trying to be an extra and like zombies it up. But yeah, that's really all. We talked about Knock at the Cabin. Jason will be on the channel again because we're going to talk about the Snyder Cut.
Oh, God.
Coming up. So we'll see you for that at some point. Take it easy.
Yep.